There will be no practicing.
One and done. All right.
3, 2, 1. I didn't say it yet.
This is Why Am I a Mets Fan? A podcast hosted by Samantha Croston and Ashley Wenskoski.
We have a bottle of champagne to celebrate the Dodgers winning the World Series. All of our Dodgers fans, this one goes out to you tonight.
Hey, cheers. Congratulations, everybody. And welcome in to perhaps one of our most important episodes yet. Cheers.
To the Why Am I a Mets Fan podcast, but why am I a Dodgers fan? Because we became it throughout this series. Because the New York Yankees lost the World Series on their home field in 5 games. I mean, my God, that healed something in me.
There's something, a childhood trauma that got cured there. So
My
sorry for the rough
Lord.
intro. But just to say it, hi, everybody. Welcome into the Why Am I a Mets Fan podcast. Thanks for hanging out with us, sticking up with us.
12:05 a.m. Eastern.
12:05 a.m. Eastern. You know the drill. That's Ashley Wenskoski. I'm Samantha Croston, and we are sports reporters in Syracuse, New York. Just two girls with a dream and a Mets podcast. But we have continued our coverage because we wanted to do some World Series stuff, and we have been so appreciative of the Dodgers fan base support of this podcast. Congratulations, Dodgers fans. First things first. So impressive.
If you're a
especially
Dodgers
tonight.
fan and you're watching this podcast tonight, all credit to you. Like, go have a drink somewhere, go out, celebrate. I mean, what an exciting day to be a fan of the Los Angeles Dodgers.
Why are we
This
drinking
one's
like we're
for you.
Dodgers fans? We had to do it. You guys know how it is when a series ends. This was one of the craziest games I've seen in a long time. Back, forth, back, forth. You thought that the Dodgers were out of it. And then all of a sudden it seemed like anything was possible. Thought maybe we were going back to Dodger Stadium, and ultimately we didn't. I mean, the watching experience.
Oh, I mean, I had my bags packed. Like, we were going back to Los Angeles as far as I was concerned. The bags were packed. I mean, I wasn't going, but some people were.
But some people were considering it, and it never happened. It never came to fruition because this Dodgers team, it's like you give them an inch, they take a freaking mile, and they were able to shut it down. So we're going to go through this scoring summary and tell you what's up. Ashley has something to say first.
I can't lie to you. The second that, when they were down by 5 runs, I had my bags packed. The second that the Dodgers came back to tie it, Teoscar, I was like, the Dodgers are winning this game. You just felt like you've been talking about all series long, all postseason long. You give the Dodgers an inch, they take a mile. That's what they did tonight. It came back from a 5-run deficit. You really just have to say that they deserve this win tonight.
You know when I knew they were going to win, and I do actually kind of hate to say this, when Aaron Judge dropped the fly ball.
I mean, Aaron.
I knew.
That was not Aaron's finest moment, to say the least.
It
wasn't. He had
wasn't.
a good moment at the beginning of the game. I will say that. The Yankees had some good moments. We'll go through it, but that was not Aaron's finest.
No, it wasn't, and I know there were some other errors, and we'll go through that too, but my goodness gracious, what an inning. All right, so let's start where it kind of all began, which is Yankees, bottom of the first. Judge, you mentioned it, a little bit different than what we've been seeing. We kind of said that he's been a zero throughout a lot of this postseason. He homers to right center, and immediately it's 2-0 New York Yankees. Following him is Chisholm, another home run, and it's 3-0 Yankees. By the way, this was against Jack Flaherty, who is someone who totally torched the Mets, someone who we were familiar with from series past. It was a really tough way to start this game for the Dodgers.
The Dodgers were, I would say the Dodgers looked lifeless through the first. I mean, Garrett Cole was out there spinning a gem. He had everything working. He had all of his pitches going. I mean, before this game, you saw Derek Jeter and A-Rod and Big Papi. By the way, Big Papi's a national treasure. Love that guy. You saw them all sit there, and they had a funny moment where Derek Jeter said Garrett Cole needs to pitch the game of his career, and A-Rod goes, no, he needs to pitch the game of, I forget what he said, but like of his whole life, which is what would be different. Were we factoring in his little league? Like, what were we adding on there, A-Rod? Anyways, he did pitch the game of his life for a little while, brought a no-hitter into that inning where the wheels just fell off the bus, and good old Garrett decided that he wasn't covering first base. If I am a Yankees fan, that Garrett Cole not covering first base is gonna haunt me the deepest, darkest parts of my soul. That image is up there with, I don't even know what to compare it to in Mets lore, maybe the Luis Castillo drop pop fly. There's a lot that you could say in terms of Mets, but man, oh man, Garrett Cole not covering first base was just the doors were blown off after that.
And we're going to get to that, but I totally agree as far as Garrett Cole. You have to also remember, this is now it was the second gem that that totally got blown up in his face because Garrett Cole actually pitched before this, and that was a good game too. And the Dodgers won that game also. The Garrett Cole not covering first base is a really, really tough blow. But there were other things that went wrong before that kind of put this whole thing into motion.
And honestly, just for a second before we get further, have to give the Yankees their flowers for a second for coming out in this game. You know it's an elimination game.
Yep.
You know you're down 3-1 and you need to survive tonight. And they come out there and Jazz Chisholm and Aaron Judge right away in the first inning. I mean, I was watching that first inning and it's hard to not feel like the Yankees have all the momentum. They're going to run away with this one. So credit where credit is due to the Yankees for coming out strong, for starting fast. Unfortunately, the wheels fell off the bus.
Yeah, there's really no other way to say it. Continuing on with this scoring summary. So in the bottom of the second, Verdugo singled to right and Volpe scored. It was a 4-0 lead. It ends up being by the bottom of the third, because Stanton has a homer, it's a 5-0 lead. And then we'll get to where this is going. But as a Dodgers fan, I would love to know, that's kind of my question of the night. The score is 5-0 in the third inning. Were you all feeling like this was the way this was going to turn out? Because as a Mets fan, I was like, yeah, see you in LA.
See you in LA.
I think maybe a lot of people were thinking that. I was familiar with the Dodgers game, and I still was not familiar enough.
We should have known better.
We should have known better, man, because let me tell you what, the events that followed were horrific. I am going to quote my meteorologist who said this earlier in the night. What in the fifth inning was that? It was
Literally
disturbing, the things that played out. I had a little graphic here that they showed on the TV that I thought was interesting as far as the miscues tonight.
Yeah.
3 errors. Cole fails to cover first base. Catcher's interference. Balk. 5 unearned runs.
Do you know the account baseball images that precede unfortunate events?
Yeah.
That's what Garrett Cole, that's what that image of him not covering first is.
Oh my goodness. So yes, it's Garrett Cole not covering first. That is definitely one of them. It is Aaron Judge who does not catch a fly ball, a routine fly ball that he pretty much on any other given night would catch. Volpe was in there who made sort of a weird play
There
at
was
third
some
that didn't
infield
go.
defensive
Yes.
debacles.
Yes.
Defensive debacles. Yeah, if you're a Yankees fan watching this podcast, which I'm going to go out on a limb and assume that they might be few and far between. But if you are here, I do want to know, what was the moment for you? Because now, hindsight 2020, I can say it was the Cole not covering first base situation. But I'm not going to lie, when Aaron Judge didn't catch that pop fly, I had a minute of like, ooh, that seems like a moment that we might look back on, unfortunately. So if you're a Yankees fan, what was the point in the game for you that you knew things were about to take a deep, dark, deadly turn?
Deadly. And of course, it's almost like you know it. Like you know that something's bad when the Fox broadcast is replaying it over and over and over again, hitting you with the slow motion angle. Like that's how you know. And I do, honestly, in a way. Oh my God, I just had to say this. I could not think of it. You know how you said you couldn't think of who to compare it to with the Mets?
Yeah.
I had it in my head. I just could not think of the name till now.
On the tip of her tongue.
Bill Buckner. That's who I compare it to.
Yeah.
But anyway, sorry, just had to get that out. But this was crazy because I'm telling you, right? It's 5-0, then it's 5-1, then it's 5-3. Okay, Freeman singles to center, Edmund scored, Smith scored, Betts to third, and then it's 5-5 thanks to Hernandez. It was the Hernandez one, like that moment, right?
Teoscar, my guy.
He doubled to center. That's when things really changed for me from a mental standpoint.
When it was tied.
Because I'm sitting there at 5-3, and I'm like, as a Dodgers fan, I just get greedy now.
Yeah.
Like, no way in one inning are we going to see a 5-run fifth inning right now.
Yeah.
And we did.
I know.
And honestly, after that,
After it was tied,
it was over.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of the Yankees team that I've grown to see, is one who has a tough time fighting back, especially against the Dodgers, man.
because when have they had to fight before this? They have not had experience in the ring.
We've
I've been
said,
saying it.
No, but honestly, I think that it is true, right? Like in some of these moments, not to mention, listen, they were gassed. I have some questions, honestly. I mean, it was okay, but like even leaving Garrett Cole in for as long as they did, I thought was surprising.
Yeah,
He was
yeah.
pitching into the 7th inning. But honestly, some of these guys were just gassed. Like there was really no pitcher. I felt like Weaver was their last chance, Luke Weaver, for the Yankees. And when they brought him in and there were no outs in the 8th inning, I was like, if he somehow is able to figure out a way to get 6 outs, he'll be the king of New York, but it's not going to happen. It's too much to ask. I'm pretty sure, someone correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure he came in the 8th inning and the bases were loaded. I'm like, there's just only so much you can do in that situation. Couple sac flies later, now they're in a bit of a conundrum.
Yeah.
It was tough, man.
Yeah, I mean, somehow, some way, Dave Roberts and the Dodgers had the Yankees right where they wanted them, which if you would have said that after Jack Flaherty gets 4 outs to start this game, I mean, it was just, the universe aligns sometimes on things, and the universe just aligned tonight for the Dodgers. Yeah, you also have to give credit where credit is due to Blake Trinan coming in with his, I believe it was his longest outing of the season. Don't quote me on that, but 2.1 innings pitched. You saw the strikeouts. You saw that. I mean, he was magical. And then Walker Buehler in to really close things out at the end. I'm getting ahead of myself, but I almost felt like Walker Buehler deserved that a little bit with all the highs and lows he's had this postseason with the Dodgers.
He earned it. I think he earned it just to be able to have that moment. And yes, I should clarify. So actually, for as much as we say the Yankees, can't fight this and that, they did actually make it 6-5 in the bottom of the 6th. Stanton hit a sac fly to center. However, then, as we mentioned, the whole thing with Weaver, it ends up becoming 7-6. And then you mentioned it to close the game out for the Dodgers was Buehler. And it was a 1-2-3 inning.
Yeah.
So both of those pitchers that you just mentioned, really, really impressive stuff. But for me, it's like, again, I know I've said this a lot recently, but to me, this feels like, again, one of those 50-50 things. So impressive that the Dodgers can come back. But in all honesty, they should not have won this game. I think they were always going to win the World Series. I'm not saying that I didn't.
Yeah.
But like how do you like Yankees fans are going to be losing their minds tomorrow. Yankees sports media is going to have a panic attack.
I cannot wait to listen to New York talk radio tonight and tomorrow. God, I'm itching. If you are a Yankee hater, which I am the president of the fan club, or at least I'm high up there, I'm in the cabinet. There's probably a few people ahead of me. If you're in the Yankee fan club, I mean, this is just what you have dreamed about. Like the defensive miscues. It's like LOL Mets, but it's the Yankees. The Yankees are being LOL Mets with the Judge drop pop flies and the not covering first base. Literally, it is my biggest dreams come to life, aside from the Phillies, which we took care of a long time ago. That meant more to me. But the Yankees secondarily, God, it's so beautiful. It's so stunning. The Dodgers celebrating at Yankee Stadium. Oh my God. I know if you're a Dodgers fan, you probably wanted to celebrate in LA. You just wanted to get it done, and I know that. But you probably wanted to celebrate in LA. But who, man, as a Yankee hater first and foremost, the Dodgers celebrating on the Yankee Stadium field after the Yankees hadn't been there in 15 years. God, I love today.
You're evil.
I love today.
You're actually evil.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'm not evil like that. It made me feel happier that the Dodgers won than that the Yankees lost. And I don't even know why. I'm not a Dodgers fan, but I really do feel like baseball is the kind of sport where so many of these teams are so evenly matched or close to it that there are just years where the best team doesn't win. And that's what kind of makes it great.
Yeah.
This year it wasn't that.
No,
the Dodgers were the best team in baseball, and the Dodgers won the World Series. And you have to give credit where credit's due because of that. You're so smirky. Ashley, we're never going to have a Yankees fan on this podcast ever.
Well, I mean, I never really welcomed them in. Yeah, no.
That's a lie. Please follow us.
I just like and subscribe and comment. No, very, very satisfying for all Mets fans. The Mets, by the way, I just have to say it. Our guy James Buckley said it in the comments a few days ago. The Mets get the silver medal if we're going by technicalities. The Mets took it back to LA. They took it to 6 games. The Yankees did not because the Yankees... No comment at this time. Yeah, what a night for Dodgers fans. The best team won, right? Like, this was what was supposed to happen. And I have to point it out. I have to say it. You saw the Dodgers celebrating on the Yankee Stadium field. And oh boy, did that Fox camera love panning over to old friend Juan Soto. Last guy in the dugout, it was him and Volpe sitting there watching the proceedings. And me, right now, as an evil Mets fan, when Steve Cohen owns my team, I'm just saying.
No, listen.
I'm just saying.
They're showing those shots for a reason because they want to set the scene for what they know could be to come. I'm saying that for Mets fans. I'm saying that for potentially Dodgers fans. I'm saying that for anyone who is interested at all in grabbing Juan Soto. It is you can't tell me it's not. It's a big difference in that Juan Soto conversation if the Yankees win the World Series versus what happened tonight.
Yeah, it absolutely has to be. Another guy who's a free agent after the season, I believe Blake Trinan. Blake, I got my eye on you, Blake. And Freddie Freeman wins the World Series MVP. I mean, you can just give Freddie Freeman the keys to New York. Like, literally give him the keys to the damn city, which, as I've said in previous podcasts, is a real character arc for me. We hated Freddie when he was on the Braves. He terrorized the Mets, goes to LA, eliminates the Mets, and somehow I'm still rooting for the guy. Freddie Freeman, I have not been happier in a long time for a person and a baseball career than I am for Freddie Freeman right now.
Well, you know what? It's hard not to root for that team, not only because A, we obviously are falling more and more in love with the fans. Thank you guys so much. But B, like, this team just plays good baseball.
Yeah.
And they play good baseball every night, man. Like, that is, I think, what I'm going to look back on this World Series and think is A, how good of a team truly start to finish that the Dodgers were. It almost makes me feel less bad about the whole Mets thing because I just feel like, how could you have possibly gotten past this Dodgers team with the way they played?
Yeah.
But honestly, I'm going to think about tonight because I know Yankees fans and I know that they're going to have a bad taste in their mouths. I'm not saying end of the day, you lose the World Series, you're going to have a little bit of a sour taste about the season. But in this way was just brutal. Honestly, my stomach kind of hurt just thinking about
the Yankees.
Yeah.
No, my stomach
just
was doing jumping jacks and joyful flips and
hers had butterflies. Not really for the team as a collective, not for Aaron Boone, but like thinking about like Judge and just knowing how many times that clip's gonna play tomorrow, and Garrett Cole and how many times that clip's gonna play tomorrow. Like, Cole didn't have a bad outing. He just had one bad moment. But I get it. One bad moment can last a lifetime. There are a lot of people who know that. You want to think about somebody who knows that? Ask the Yankees fan with the fan interference, which we just have. Can I just say it for 1 second? Have my moment.
Sure, I'm gonna. Yeah.
What in the F was that? What was that?
I don't know.
That was so freaking lame.
Disgusting. I don't want to see it. I don't want to look. If you are on the side of that, which like ESPN honestly did some weird stuff with that.
Some people were like
weird.
Ugh.
If you're on the side of supporting that and thinking that was funny, no.
That should have been demonized start to finish. Like, that was ugly. I am so happy that he got booted out. I'm so happy that MLB kicked them out and also banned them. I hope they stay banned for life.
And then I believe gave the tickets to a child with a very deserving cause.
Yep. And I saw all that. So that was instant karma and very gratifying.
MLB handled it well.
MLB handled it great, but it is hysterical to me, honestly, how there are some people who throughout the years, there has been some fan interference things where the person has been absolutely villainized, changed their entire life. And then you have a guy like this and all of a sudden he's a damn hero?
No,
Please.
No, he's going to have a podcast in like 2 days. And I'm really, no. He's the culmination. He's the culmination of everything that I dislike about Yankees fans.
Yep.
If the Yankees have no haters, I'm dead. So this was just a great night for me. Really, really relishing in it. And you know what? I know we said it a lot with this podcast and the amount of love the Dodgers fans have showed us, and we're very grateful for that. But I mean, it's not lost on me. Like, the Dodgers throughout literal baseball history have been the Mets' kind of like older brothers, literally and figuratively. And look, I know they eliminated the Mets, and no one was more upset about that than me. But the best team won. I mean, the best team won. If the Mets would have gotten past the Dodgers, and I said this at the time, you can go back and look. I literally said if the Mets would have escaped that series, as much as I love that team, I don't know if they would have deserved to. The best team won, and I'm happy for the Dodgers. It's kind of like the Mets' older brother in a way. I'm happy that someone could do it, and I'm happy it was the Dodgers, and I'm happy it was the National League, and
she's happy
it wasn't the evil empire.
She's just happy. We're just happy. Well, listen.
Godspeed.
Godspeed. Again, thank you guys seriously so much for following us throughout this season. Just to put it in perspective for you, our boss was able to send out this email earlier this week. In August, we had 16,000 views. In September, we had 18,000 views. And in October, thanks to all of your guys, Mets, Dodgers, whichever fan base you come from, all of you guys, it's at 231,000 views and counting.
And a lot of that is Dodgers fans.
Yeah,
so
that is beyond our wildest imagination. So we are so happy that your dreams came true tonight. And honest to God, hopefully down the road, we will be able to say that you helped to fulfill ours. So thank you so much for that. Final thoughts.
And hopefully one day you're still watching this podcast and the Mets get past the Dodgers in the NLCS and you're happy for us. I got to say it. I got to have the full circle. Dodgers fans, go out and celebrate tonight. You guys deserved it. Best team in baseball. Kind of all year long to some degree. The Mets were in that conversation, but to some degree, and more than anything, God bless. I hate the New York Yankees.
And God bless the New York Mets. Hey, don't go anywhere. We're not going anywhere in the offseason. We are going to listen to the things you said. We have more content coming for you, and we are going to do more big picture baseball things because that's what you all said that you wanted. Thank you so much once again for following us this season. We can't wait to see you in the offseason.